God damn it, Cody.
So in this Techisode, we're going to show you guys how to install shift light. Even if the car has a tachometer already in it, a shift light can be very important in a racing, drag racing, any type of sported driving where you may want to shift at certain points without having to be staring down at your tachometer. So this is my Acura Integra. It's a bone stock LS B18. It's just on rims, lowered, suspension. That's it. It's all done to it. For now, it's stock. I let my girlfriend drag race this car. She's learning, and we're eventually going to fix this up. You'll see it on my other channel, Pro Just Insane, and probably a little bit on our new CNC Customs channel when we turbocharge this. So for now, we're putting a shift light in for her so that she can shift accurately and consistently. So that's what this Techisode is going to be, how to install shift light. So one of the important things about a shift light, especially when it's a little large like this, they do make smaller ones for a lot more money. This one here, I think we have 40 bucks or something into it. I like using these. They're very easy to set. There's a little knob on the back. You just dial to your RPM. You don't have to program them or change a chip like some other models. It's got the cover for nighttime, because this can be pretty bright. At nighttime it can be a little overly bright, so you put this cover on. During the daytime you take the cover off. You want to pick a spot or a location where it's not out in the open. You know, you don't want it sitting like right up here on your dash. This isn't a race car. You want to set it somewhere or hook it up somewhere where it's inconspicuous but at the same time functional. So I think in this application we're going to stick it right here on the column so that when you're staring past it, you can still see your speedometer, your tachometer, and all your other gauges perfectly fine, but it's right there in the middle. So we'll get to installing this here, and we'll pick up on showing you how to do the wiring. Okay, so here we got the instructions. They're all pretty much very simple and easy to follow. You hook the red up to a switch 12 volt ignition source. So we'll run that down to probably a fuse in the fuse box that turns on and off with the key. The ground, the black, goes to any chassis ground. We'll probably find a screw that goes into the metal underneath there and fasten to that. The green will be the tach signal. That one will have to go out through the firewall. Now we could probably find the tach signal in a harness that goes up to the tachometer. We'll decide on that when we get to the point. But running it out through the firewall, we can take it out to the tach signal at the distributor as well. On this particular model, we have to decide whether or not it's an 8-cylinder, 6-cylinder, or 4-cylinder application. It's a 4-cylinder application, so we're also going to have to clip the brown and orange wire loops that stick out of the back. Some other companies will have a switch that'll say like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8-cylinder, whatever. You know, there's different cylinder settings, and you can just switch there. In this case, we'll have to cut both of these looped wires, tuck them away, and that'll make it ready for a 4-cylinder application. So I'm slowly feeding the wires down through the dash, working them down to where I want to be. I want to be at the fuse panel location, so I can tie the red into a fuse that gets 12 volt when the key's turned on. The green we're going to try to fish out through the firewall. We'll find a spot to go right out. Cody was able to find the tach signal. We'll show you that in a second. The black's just going to go to a screw into the frame, metal framing. And then to fasten this down, I'm probably for now, I don't want to really put any holes in this. I'm probably going to clean that with an alcohol swab and use some double-sided adhesive tape and see how well that holds it for now. But Cody found us the tach signal source, and we're going to show you how we found that out front here.
Just simply type in the Google images what you need to find, such as we typed in tach signal and 97 Acura Integra LS, exact match of the car, and then it comes up with this picture here.
Okay.
And if you look carefully, it's kind of from this angle, but we found that picture shows us that this is a tach signal right in here.
Yeah, they look the same to me. So a trick that a lot of people run into problems with is getting the wire through the firewall. A lot of firewalls are perfectly sealed off. They don't have any real big holes to go right through. They have a lot of rubber bushings and grommets sealing, you know, smells and noise and water and stuff from the inside of the car and the outside of the car. What I like to do is find a big old bushing or grommet, like for example this one right down here where a main harness happens to go through. It's a little dark in there, but you'll know what I mean. Anywhere where there's something already running through the firewall. I punched a hole in the rubber beside it to not interfere with any of the factory wiring or initial wiring. One inside, and yes, I was able to see the hole I punched through. I used the sharp tip of like a test meter. But to get the little wire to feed through there can be difficult. So what I like to do is get like a small piece of mechanics wire or welding wire like this is. We'll feed it down through that hole, you know, nice long piece. We'll then tie the wire inside to this and we'll just pull it right back out through it. It'll come right back out through that hole and be right here where we need it to be. It'll be a nice clean looking install. All right, so I found a fuse that only comes on when the key turns on. You see the red light light up?
Yep.
So now what I'll do is I'll pull that fuse out and I'll tuck this red wire in behind that fuse and push it back in, and that'll be like a piggyback. It'll get its source from there. And I'll do it on the side of the fuse that's actually the fused fuse, so if something does go wrong, it'll still blow the fuse. So we'll pick up then with, we'll do the ground yet, and then we'll pick up with Cody doing the tack signal out front. Alright, so we have Cody here connecting the final wire. The green one goes to the tack signal. He's going to splice that in. We'll put some black electrical tape on it, tape it up real good. And I'm going to finish mounting the actual shift light itself with the sticky tape. And we'll pick up showing you guys with the tack signal actually, or the shift light actually working. Okay, so shift light's installed. We got it double-sided taped down to the console. That way when we sell the car, it's easy to remove, there's no holes. I stuck it at $3,000 for now on that little slider on the back. Kind of lights up when you first turn the key on to tell you it's working. And then, as you see, when the needle sweeps past the tack, it hits $3,000, it'll light up. So, we can now set it to the RPM we want. A good rule of thumb is to look up what your engine's peak horsepower is. Say it makes 200 horsepower at 6,000 RPM. You'll want to put your shift light about 500 RPM past your peak horsepower spot. So we'll look up online, we'll see what this engine's rated at stock and factory. We'll set that shift light to about 500 past that. That'll be a good starting point for her to try out. So shift light, Techisode, finished.